Onne is a world-renowned sailor and photographer. He's traveled the world sailing, racing, and photographing. You can see his work at his gallery in Newport, Rhode Island. Onne is also a skilled craftsman and recently did a total refit of his 1972 Pearson 36. Today, he's working with Festool master trainer Brian Sedgeley.
Let me show you the project I'm working on now. Well, as you can see, it's pretty tight down below in my boat. And this is where we're working. This is where I need the nav panel, and it literally fits right in here. And all these wires you see are going to be plugged into the back of the panel where these instruments all sit. And the nav station is an important spot because that's sort of the nerve center of the boat where we do all the navigating, and down below there's the charts. And so in any case, I've got it all set up in my shop. So why don't we go to the shop and make the panel?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, here I have my sheet of plywood, which we got to cut up, and this is the basic panel for the nav stations. The edge of this guide goes right on my cutting line. So that makes life a hell of a lot easier because I can just drop it straight on there. Nice and accurate.
Yep.
Put the saw on the track. That's it.
Yep.
And then I push, I'm pushing this button here,
Yep.
and then fire it up,
Yep.
and we cut.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Because we have a splinter guide here on the rail. Look how that is completely splinter-free.
Yeah, clean as a whistle.
Yes,
That looks
sir.
great.
Cool.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter if it's 90 degrees or anywhere between 0 and 47.
So you can,
You can bevel cut with it.
Right.
Cut down. If we had to do the nav panel and scribe it in,
Yep.
we could do that with like a wire edge and
Wow.
finish it up at the boat.
That makes it so much easier than the old system I had where you had clamps and you had to measure the offset. Now you just drop it down and, with the track, with the rubber underneath, it sticks to the wood and it works beautifully. What a great rig.
And for the second cut, let's just lay the guide rail down on that layout line you did, Onne.
Yeah.
Just like that, and you're ready to cut.
Perfect. Nice. So Sedge, here's a sketch I made while sailing on the boat, and I thought, this is the layout that I really need on the nav panel down below at the chart table. And so these are my instruments that are going to be mounted in this panel. So here's the autopilot, which goes in this position roughly. And this could be either depth or wind speed or boat speed, whatever. And then I have these templates to really enable me to get the position perfect on the panel. And here's the plotter. It's a nice big plotter. And these are 1-inch cutouts for the USB 12-volt power for the iPhone and the iPad. And they'll go here. And then I have a light which goes across the top of the panel to light up the chart table at night. So that's sort of the general layout.
Onne, this is familiar territory for me. I used to work in a marine store on the weekends in Fort Lauderdale. I did that for about 4 years. So to see how you're laying this out really is really cool because I could see how you're doing it and it's the application.
Nice. Give this a little center point. Then I know what my center point is. And give that a little scribe. And that's the outside line. And obviously then I take what is actually a gasket and I'm going to scribe the inside line, and that's really the cut line. And I'll mark it out on the inside as well, do all 4 sides.
So I'm going to get this clamped up for us. So we're ready to go. Hey, Onne, can I show you a little bit easier way?
Yeah, sure.
That develops a lot of torque.
Yep.
So I'm going to take the hole saw out, and I'm actually going to show you a better way to do this, or an easier way. I'm going to remove the standard chuck on here, and we're going to put the right angle on here. We call it our fast fix system. And when I put that on, I could swing this all the way around if I want to, but I'm going to put it in a real easy position. This way here, we get 2 hands on this drilling action. So I'm going to bring it just like this, and I'm going to put this back in the hole saw and show you how much easier it is. Okay, and I'll just tighten that up, and we'll be ready to go. So Onne, here you go.
Okay, give this a go.
Yep.
Line it up. So hold it like this, you were saying, right?
Yep. And
Speed it up. Perfect. That makes it a lot easier. I like that.
A lot more control.
More secure. Nice.
So let's get the rest of the holes drilled out.
Oh. Let's do the 1-inch holes with a Forstner, right?
Absolutely. What we'll do now is we'll drill access holes for the jigsaw blade so we can cut out this where the monitor
Okay.
goes.
Gotcha.
And I'm going to clamp it here, and then I'm going to come over here and clamp it. And what we'll do is we'll set up a smaller bit. I would suggest one close to all the corners.
Seems cut beautifully, eh? The clear of the table.
Yep.
Seems like it.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Nice.
So the same battery that we used on the track saw this morning, and then we drilled the access holes and the holes
Yep.
with the hole saw, we're going to use on the cordless Cavex.
Excellent.
So I'm just going to slide this on here like this, and then I'm also going to put on dust extraction, just like this. Okay, and now we're set.
Perfect.
So one thing I want to show you, remember the cut we got with the track saw?
Yep.
How splinter-free it was?
Right.
We're going to achieve that same cut with this blade.
Wow.
And we're going to put this little piece of plastic in here. We call it our splinter guard.
Yeah.
And what's basically what we're going to do is when we cut this, it's going to be a zero clearance insert.
Got it.
See how it slides in?
Yep.
I set it up just like this. And I'm going to put the Bluetooth on the dust extractor going. Okay. And then I'm going to cycle on the tool and cut it. So now we're ready to go.
All right.
So Onne, we got all our holes cut, and we got our rectangle cut out here for the monitor. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to sanding. We're going to get it ready for finish, and we're going to remove these template marks. Okay, I want to point out that it's not the same battery that we've been using. We call it our Ergo battery for ergonomic. It's lighter in weight. Okay, you still get about 30 minutes of runtime on it. Okay, but it still utilizes the same charger that we use for the other 18-volt batteries.
Gotcha.
Also, on here we have a bag. Okay, it's a bag that actually works. It collects the lion's share of the dust. But as I take it off, you can see it also works with our dust extractors if you want to hook it up.
Very nice.
But another thing to point out, as I take this battery and say you run out of power of the battery after 30, 40 minutes, we also make here an AC adapter, so you can use it with one of our standard plug-it cords.
Yep.
And now you can plug it into AC.
Nice. Wow.
I'm going to put this back in here because today, we started with cordless. Let's stay with cordless.
Yep.
And here you go.
Great. And speed-wise, we stay at 5? You think that's about good?
Between 5 and 6.
Okay. Okay, so here's my panel, and I've put 4 coats of varnish on it with a little light sanding in between. I filled the grain out nicely. So it's dry. So let's have a look. We'll dry fit all the instruments. Firstly, I'll put the plotter in there and make sure that that fits. And that's our map to show us exactly where we are on the ocean. Then we do the VHF radio, which is an important piece of gear when you want to call for help if something goes wrong. And that's a nice snug fit. And here we have the autopilot, so that drops in there.
Just like a glove.
And here is the wind speed, wind direction, depth. This is a multifunction display, lots of great stuff. We've got a couple more things to do, the USB plugs, the light, and the microphone for the radio. But I think it looks great, and you get a good idea of what we've done, and thanks for your help. It's awesome.
You're welcome. I think this looks fantastic, and I think it's going to be a great addition.
All I've got to do now is just fasten these instruments down, take the finished panel to the boat, mount it, cast off, and go cruising.